Yeah. It's called Waterberg, or Water Mountain, because of this incredible geology. So you can see the surrounding landscape. This actually goes into the Kalahari Desert and into Botswana. There's not another bump between here and Botswana. And then the Okavango Delta, and the same to the south and the same to the north. So you've got hundreds of kilometers of flat area, and then you've got these icelbergs, or erupted volcanic rock that's come through. What makes them very, very unique is that the top is all sand, like deep sand. Now what that means is that when it rains, and because it's so flat in the surrounding area, when the moisture gathers in the surrounding area, it floats around, but it doesn't fall because it's desert. Then it comes to this hill, it rises up, rises slightly, and then it rains. So often it'll rain over the plateau and be completely dry in the surrounding area. And because of the nature of the plateau, it's sand, all the water sinks straight through the plateau, and then it doesn't leak out because it's like a huge, giant bucket. And there's one or two natural springs that pop out at different areas. One is where the NWR camp is, and two more on the other side, where the water can escape. So it's a huge reservoir of fresh water, which means the whole area, especially in Namibia, is super green because there's more water held in there. And of course, on the top, it grows really beautifully, and there is water points on the top. And in 1972, it became a national reserve or a national park to protect the endangered species of southern Africa. So it was specially designed to protect black and white rhino and make breeding populations, sable, roan, and buffalo. Because although we're used to a lot of buffalo in South Africa, Namibia does not have many buffalo because it's too dry. So it's one of the few areas where they try and have breeding herds of all those animals, and it's protected. So that is the Waterberg, and this is a typical view that's actually from Wilderness Camp. Why go there? Animals. Animals, peace and quiet, birds, and just a general view. Its location in Namibia is really nice because it's only about a third of a day, a 5-hour drive from Windhoek. It's about a 5-hour drive from Etosha. So it's nice and centrally located, and it's fairly easy to get to. You can go most of the way to it on a tar road, and you've got the last 80 kilometers on a reasonable gravel road. So it's accessible in any kind of car, as long as it's got wheels and works. And so it's nice and easy to get to. So it's a good weekend getaway for people who live in Windhoek, because it's nice and quiet and it's a bit greener and less hot. It's also really good for people beginning and end of their safari trips in Namibia. Because if they've flown into Windhoek, if they're there before midday, they can collect their rental car, they can go shopping for their supplies in Windhoek at a supermarket, and then drive to Waterberg and still arrive before dark. Which means they can spend their first day, if they've got roof tents and the new vehicles to get used to, they can drive it just a little bit and get used to it and have a nice, beautiful, safe place to spend their first night. Also, at the end of a trip, if they're doing the trip the other way around and they come from Etosha, it's an easy drive from Etosha to Waterberg. It's a really pleasant, nice place to stay around the Waterberg Plateau, and it's a fairly easy drive, short by Namibian standard drive, the next day to the airport or to Windhoek to drop off your rental car. So the location is nice. But a lot of people go there just for the peace and quiet.